SPC tool, Scatter Diagram, Chapter 3. The scatter diagram is another of the SPC tools. The SPC is a methodology for monitoring a process to identify the special causes of variation and apply corrective actions to eliminate them. The scatter diagram is the fifth of the 7 tools of the SPC series. It is another visual tool, so it is the simplest way to determine if a cause and effect relationship exists between 2 variables. If you have more than 2 variables, the scatter diagrams are not good. You might have to use a multi-variable diagram in order to understand the relationship between them. So the scatter diagram is only for 2 variables. Some of the advantages of using the scatter diagram is that it supplies the data to confirm a hypothesis that 2 variables are related. Now, you could have a strong relationship, you can have a weak relationship, or you can have non-relationship between 2 variables, and the scatter diagrams help us to understand if they exist or not. Provide both a visual and statistical means to test the strength of a relationship, and provides a good follow-up to cause and effect diagrams. How do we build it? We first have to collect the data. And the way that we collect the data has to be in pairs. So you have to have XY set of data. Then you have to build the horizontal and the vertical scales. Then you plot the data. And once the diagram is complete, the relationship or correlation between the 2 variables can be evaluated. And that relationship will tell you if they have a strong relationship or a weak relationship or have non-relationship. So these are some of the examples of how your plot may look like. If they have a positive correlation or a positive strong relationship, you will see that you have an increased slope. If they have a negative correlation or a negative relationship, you will see a decreased slope. If they have no correlation, you will be able to see kind of a circle. It means that if you put a straight line, most of those different data set will not touch that line. If you see the data is kind of they have a declined slope, and if you put a line between them, you're gonna have most of the data within the line. You can say that a negative correlation may exist. Correlation by stratification means that you have a set of data or specific pattern that goes from one side and then another side, so you have a specific group. That's what we call stratification. And if you have a curvilinear relationship, you will see that it will kind of follow a exponential distribution. So those are the different type of correlation that you can see when you do scatter diagram. You can work you can build the scatter diagrams using Excel, Minitab, or you can do it by hand. So let's work an example. This is assume that during a 3 hours period spent outside, a person recorded the temperature and their water consumption. The experiment was conducted on 7 randomly selected days during the summer, and the data is shown in the table below. So you have 7 days, you have temperature that varies, and you have the water consumption. Okay, so let's start using Excel to build the scatter diagram. So the first thing that you need to do, you open a worksheet, and then you're going to type your different data. Remember, this is a scatter diagram, so you should have 2 variables. So you could, every variable with their data, you type it in different cells, okay? Then you highlight them, and you go to Insert. This is once again Microsoft 2007. You go to Insert, and you're going to see under Charts that there is a Scatter option. And you can have the simplest one, or you can have the one that has pair value or the lines. I'm going to do the simple one. Once you click there, then you can the chart will be plotted. And let me see, I want to change this. This is a scatter diagram. Then you see that if you trace a line between them, you can say that these two variables had a strong relationship or positive relationship. Okay, let's now work on a Minitab. You open Minitab and you're going to do the same. You're going to type temperature, and you have the water consumption, and you have the data 99, 48, 85, 27. Remember that is in pairs. 97, 48, 75, 16, 92, 32, 85, 25, 83, 20. Once you have them, you're going to go to Graph and select the scatter plot. It's going to ask you which one to do. You can select this. I'm going to select the simple. Double click on it and it will ask you for the y and the x variable. I'm going to have the temperature as the y and the water consumption as your x. Then plug the data. So you can see that they have a kind of strong relationship. If you trace a line, you can see that. So once again, this is the scatter diagram, and this is another SPC tool.